Buddy, I'm going to do a new video again today, and it's going to be on how to read an LES, which is a leave and earning statements. Once again, this video is for soldiers, new spouses, whoever needs to know how to read the LES. You get your LES, a full one like this. Let me show you real quick. A full one like this, which gives you a breakdown of everything, all your deductions, pay, everything on the first of every month. And you get kind of a mini, I don't have one to show you, but a mini kind of LES that just shows you how much you got paid on the 15th. So the big one again, the first, and the little one on the 15th. It just tells you how much you got paid. It doesn't have anything about deductions or anything. These guys are pretty easy to read. They're pretty self-explanatory, but it's just, I just want to let you know. So, because they offer these class usually as a newcomers thing. I mean, they tell the soldiers hundreds of times how to read these. When I was in the Army, I still had knuckleheads that didn't know how to read their damn LES, and they'd been in for like 3 or 4 years. So, let me just go ahead and start. Okay. So, this is an LES. Payday is when you enlisted in the Army. But that should be something else. Years in service, your ETS date, your branch, your, I don't know what that ADSN is. Sure. And the period they covered. This is an old one. Okay. So let's go ahead and start. These are your entitlements. Your base pay, your BAS, and your BAH. Your base pay is how it all depends on like how much you get paid. E1, E2, it's by your grade and by your time in service. So if you've been a specialist for one, you enter as a specialist, you're going to get less than a specialist who's been in for 4, 5, 6 years. Usually you cap out at 4 years. So, say especially because specialists get stuck. So if you've been a specialist for 6 years, you cap out. That means you max out. You can't get any additional money. Because it goes up, like I said, per year. So you get more when you've been a specialist for 1 year, you get less. 2 years, you get a little more. 3 years, you get a little more. You know what I'm saying? So you cap out. Same thing with sergeants and staff sergeants and sergeant first classes. You cap out after a certain amount of time. So, like I said, base pay, that depends on your rank and your time in service. Your BAS usually is across the board the same thing. You usually E1 through E4 get paid the same amount of BAS. It never changes. E5 you might get a little bit more. E6 you get time, but it's not any big difference. I mean, it's maybe $5-6, not any big difference. Now your BAH, I only got $780 because I lived in the barracks at the time, but that all depends on your location. If depends on your location. Usually, like I said, just again for E1 to E4, you usually get like, okay, we'll say here I live in Colorado right now, so as a E1 through E4 we get about $1,100. E5 gets a little bit more. I think they get 13. E6, let's just say they get 15. E7 gets a little bit more than that. It goes up. It just all depends on your rank. When we lived in, or where you live, when we live in Killeen, E1 through E4 gets about $900. E5 gets 10. E6 got 11. It just all depends on where you live. It has nothing to do with time in service. It does have to do with rank, but it's not that big of a difference. So if you're gonna PCS or whatever, look and see. They have all kinds of calendars on the internet. Just type in BAH chart 2010 per se, and it'll give you a chart of all the locations, and it even goes by city. Because just we live here in Colorado Springs. If we lived in Denver and my husband had to commute to Colorado Springs, he gets more money. If we lived in Pueblo, he gets less money. But it just all depends where you live. If you go live in Fort Hood and you live in Austin, it just, you have to look at the chart to see how much money you would get. Okay. So then next to that, that's entitlements, that's how much you get paid. These are all your deductions. Federal taxes, Social Security. You usually stop paying your SGLI after, I think it's a year. Don't quote me on that, but sometimes you do. Now, I don't know if that AR AFRH. I don't remember exactly what that is. But your meal deductions, I got all my BC, look at here. See, I got BAS, I got 267. My meal deduction is 234.05. When you're a single soldier, you have to eat in the defect dining facility, and they take back all your money for BAS, and you get left with what, $20 maybe. So when you're married, they don't take that away. So if you're married, you won't see meal deduction there. So anyway, and then there's mid-month pay. That's how much you got paid last month. So it got taken out already. I got paid $605 last month. Okay, and then your allotments. I had a bond for $50, so that gets automatically taken out. You can set up an allotment for anything. If you have especially if you're horrible with bills and paying them, you can set up allotment for a car payment. You can set up an allotment for your mortgage. You can, whatever you need to set up an allotment for. If you pay child support, you set up an allotment for that, and they automatically take it out. And it depends how you have it set up. If you have it set up to where you pay, it all at one time. Usually what they try to do, especially for big payments or especially child support, they take, say you owe $600. They take out the $600, but they don't take it at one time. You know what I mean? So it's technically they're taking out $300 the first and $300 the 15th, because they try not to, like, if I had to pay child support, I only got paid what, $597, and they don't try not to screw you over like that, so let's do half and half, so that way you still have money and it just doesn't all come out of one check. So yeah, so anyway, so those are your allotments, and then right here in this box is how much you get paid. Now these other little boxes down here, this says leave. This is this is before the fiscal year. I'm sorry. Here we go. Before the fiscal year, I had 11. I earned 25. I've used 21 days. So this is usually the most important part. If you still don't understand how this works, you always look at your credit balance. I have 15 days left. So if I want to take leave, I could take 15 days. Sometimes they don't let you go in the hole, or they want you to keep like 5 days just in case, so you can only use 10. But this is the most important part, is right here, the credit balance, 15. Oh, and if you've lost leave or whatever, it tells you right there. Federal taxes, this is how much you've paid in federal taxes at $14.50, whatever. And then it just tells you married or single, or there we go, married or single, the MS, exceptions, or I don't remember. Yeah, your exemptions, and additional taxes and taxes year to date, $635. This is just all right here, breakdown of taxes, state taxes. It tells you, I can see right there, I was Texas, so they didn't take out any state taxes at all. If you get thrift savings plan, which is kind of like a retirement fund, like a 401k, but it's better. If you ever need something like that, look it up online. If you go to mypay.dfast.mil, it has a really good explanation of the thrift savings plan, and it's really good. You should look it up. Anyway, so it tells you all that stuff there. Now, down here, all this mumbo jumbo writing, you need to read it, because sometimes it's got important things here. So like here, it says, effective 1 September 05, the SGLI increases to 400,000 or whatever, blah blah blah. And usually on this side is if you have any pay changes or whatever, it'll tell you. So like here, it tells me, it says I can't see. Let's fold it. Okay. It says I have a bond. Purchase price is $50. Deducted to date, $50. Bond issued this month. It tells you what bank everything gets issued to. Usually it tells you if, all your allotments. It tells you down here if you got a pay increase, because Usually every January there's a pay increase, and every time your birth date comes in around, like the day you your enlistment date come around. So like mine was May the 20th. So every May the 20th I get a little bit of a pay increase, and every enlistment date comes around you get a clothing allowance. Females get more than males. Females get about $400 or so. Males get about two, three. So it'll tell you right here. Anything that goes on with your money, it'll tell you on the right side of the paper, this side. Okay? Well, if you have any questions, if you need any more information how to read an LES, or if you want to know how to read an ERB or read anything that has to do with the military paperwork, just leave me a suggestion and I'll do a video on it, alright? Well, thanks guys. Bye.